Thanks, Shikha, for being so generous with my introduction. Sorry, gentlemen, you have to bear that. For any speaker, it's a nervous moment, when you have a powerful speaker speaking before you. So I was not here since morning or since afternoon when this thing started. So I just came in the middle and just before my session was to begin. And I was insisting that, I was on time, so I was insisting that, instead of letting Kumar speak, let me speak at my time. But I think Kumar prevailed, and he got his presentation shown before I could speak. And it was then, that I really became nervous because I'm not a very natural speaker, I guess, because, at times, with the government officers is the responsibility which is thrust upon you, and then you have to face such a elite audience. So please don't mind if I falter somewhere. So thank you so much for inviting me to this session. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm thankful to the organizers, Economic Times and NASSCOM, for giving me this platform and to address and to share my thoughts on a very important topic, which is smart cities and Industry 4.0 and how they link each other. I was intrigued, because it was mostly, all the sessions that I could glean through were all on Industry 4.0. And this is the only 15 minutes which has been tucked in the middle of everything, which speak about smart cities. I was particularly delighted because, as you would have heard in my introduction, that in NITI Aayog, as an advisor and joint secretary to Government of India, I look after industry and also urban development. So for me, it's like win-win situation where I could speak on industry, or say I can relate Industry 4.0 and smart cities. So let me first begin with what exactly smart means. A lot of people here have a lot of definition to smartness. I have been hearing this smart thing, since the time I started preparing for civil services. So for the interview that I was supposed to give, that time, this smart governance had this term has this concept of smart governance has come into play, and we were all mugging up, maybe tomorrow maybe the interview will be asked about what smart is all about, and then we were told about this, what S stands for, what M stands for, and blah, blah, blah. So my question here is that smart city means what? Is it a city which is like A-class infrastructure, which people can enjoy, can use, or is it a complete ecosystem which has the resilience, which has the adaptability, where citizens can have the ease, and the city, the infrastructure, the ecosystem can adapt the aspirations of the people. So what is it? I think all of you would agree with me that it's not the A-class infrastructure, but it's the entire ecosystem that we think and we think of when we think of smart cities. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what is that, which smart cities and industry, what is that links smart cities with Industry 4.0, and why there's a need? The need is because, I don't know how many of you would be aware that urbanization in India has been lagging for a while. And it is only in the recent decades that it has picked up, and picked up like anything. Just to give you an example, in the last, more than 50 years, India could urbanize from 17% to 32%. At present, we are like 37%. By 2050, we'll be half urban. That's the level of urbanization. Why cities are so important? Just to give you a statistics, 65% of our GDP comes from cities. Any guesses what percentage of land do cities acquire? What percentage of land when they give 65% of GDP to this country? 3%, ladies and gentlemen, just 3%. And we are talking about those 3%, and we have grappling to make them smarter. So you can think, those 3% of land, we have been grappling to make them smarter. Also, let me also tell you that the cities that we talk about are cities which we defined from the municipal point of view. However, our cities have gone beyond, and there are census towns which are towns, which are urban areas by all attributes, but they are not taken as urban centers. So when we have a conservative way of defining what towns and cities and what urban means to us, we still are we are going to be 50%, we'll be half urban by 2050. So that's the mind-boggling speed of urbanization that we have, and therefore we in NITI, we don't say that's a vertical of urban development. We call it managing urbanization. We don't say urban, this is a urban development vertical. We have to manage this urbanization. And how can we manage this urbanization? It is here that Industry 4.0 has a very, very significant role to play. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all aware Industry 4.0 is the fourth industrial revolution, and it is gonna play a very significant role with the kind of technology that we keep talking about. We keep hearing on all platforms, Internet of Things, cyber-physical space, then we talk of artificial intelligence, and all of these have lots of applications. Why then I'm here? I know that we have to make our cities smarter. Industry 4.0 has those technologies. Rajkumar told us, how all those companies which are dealing with Industry 4.0, how can they make it big? How can they make it more significant? How can they become a good player in the solutions that they're providing? Then why am I here? I'm here only for a very simple thing. As I told, Shikha informed all of you that I have been in the Ministry of Skill Development. So beside Ministry of Skill Development, I was also PS to Defense Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, and I was also PS to the same minister when he was the Home Minister. In all these ministries, I consider Ministry of Skill Development as very, very important, and that was one of the ministry where I learned a lot. And three words, which were very important, which became very important, and I try and apply these three things everywhere I go. It said, we don't have to skill. We have to skill at scale, speed, and standard. Scale, speed, and standard. So we all do everything. You are making application of Industry 4.0 technologies in smarter cities, in making cities smart. But where are we losing? Where are we losing? We are losing on three counts. We are not getting the scale that we want. We are not trying to standardize the technology. And we are not attaining the speed at which we should go. So I would urge not only the government, but also the industry captains and the leaders present here, that it should not be, our application of technology should not just be sporadic. It's not one of its kind solution or at one place. What we have to do is, we have to audit it, and we have to make it replicable, and replicable enough so that not so smart people can also use it. Because if your smart technologies are only being used by smart people, then, maybe we'll not be able to achieve the scale that we want. So I'm here to urge all of you to attain that scale, speed, and standard. Government has started its journey by launching Smart Cities Mission, where we are trying to concentrate on local area development by bringing in technology, by introduction of innovative solutions, innovative digital solutions, and the results are for all of us to see. The setting up of integrated control and command centers across these smart cities have played a very, very significant role. And we have seen how these integrated control and command system, where a lot of data is being generated, have helped government during pandemic also. It actually, became very handy for the district administration and for the municipal government. And now this integrated control and command system very smartly using the data being generated for providing various other solutions. Just to give you an example of how Ahmedabad is using the data being generated by integrated control and command system, that they now know at what time and at what places there would be a maximum traffic, and there will be maximum people whose eyeballs can be attracted towards billboards. And therefore, as per those statistics, as per that data, they are now coming up with the rates for the billboards for the various places. They have data where they capture where, when, which all places, they have cases of spitting, more cases of spitting. They are sharing the data with the police department. And police department using that data have penalized, have imposed fines, and have collected a lot of revenue. And once on the lighter vein, revenue was generated, but then there was a fight between the municipal corporation and the police department that who should get the maximum share of it. So that means, these applications of technology, the Industry 4.0 technology that we are talking about, have great applications. In city of Indore, where this Industry 4.0 technologies are being used to segregate waste. It's the optical sensors, because of which, the various grades of plastics they get segregated. And they are doing it very, very smartly. But what is it? They are doing it, but it is limited to one city, maybe maximum to the couple of cities. So it is here that, we have to together work, and we have to work together and give it scale. Similarly in Bangalore, where, so far we have just been hearing those CCTV cameras only to, they keep an eye. But these CCTV cameras are now being also used for those motorists who somehow, for some reasons, I don't know, or maybe for some pleasure, they start riding on the pedestrian. So these smart cameras, they are capable enough to generate challans for them. So this is how Industry 4.0 technology is being used in making cities smarter. So as I said at the outset, that it is not that you and I are not aware what smartness means to us, and by what we mean by smart cities. And we are also aware the great potential and significance of the technologies that that Industry 4.0 has brought before us. And we know that there is a lot of applicability of it. What we have failed maybe together is that maybe we haven't been able to give the technology its applicability at the speed at which we want, the speed that we want, the scale that we want, and the standardization that we want. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, I will urge all of you to let's work together and give that scale and speed and technology, scale, speed, and standard to Industry 4.0 in its application to make cities smarter. I would take a couple of more minutes to again, to sum up what exactly then we have to do. First thing I would say, first thing first, is now thinking of going smart is not a fancy term any longer. It is not a fancy term any longer. It has become the need of the hour, and it is the only way forward. Please remember my words. It's the only way forward. First thing, just imagine the kind of statistics that I quoted about the rapid urbanization that India is witnessing. And if we all start chasing the speed to become smarter, what will happen? There'll be a lot of demand here. There'll be a lot of demand for the industry. And then the industry has to cope up with that demand. So I'll urge again to the industry that with this demand, there's huge potential which is coming your way, and you have to be innovative enough to fit into the bill. And Rajkumar Saab also said that our global commitments, where we talk about climate resilience, where we talk about sustainability, and our Honorable Prime Minister's commitment of Panchamrit, all this can be achieved, I'm sure, by making our cities smarter, and by making our cities. How can we make our cities smarter? There could be different way, but we cannot overlook the importance of technology which comes with Industry 4.0. So, ladies and gentlemen, with these few words, I can only tell you that with Industry 4.0, which works mostly on data, and once this application reaches the kind of speed, scale, and standard that I'm talking about, the kind of data that will be generated would be immense, and this data can be used for further application. And as we all know, that data is the new oil of this century. So let's tap that opportunity and make our cities as smart as possible. And let's not, I think from the government side, I can only say that the realization has come that we cannot just limit ourselves to make only 100 cities smarter. We have to make all the cities of this country smart enough to take care of its citizen and their need. Thank you so much.